Hi there, welcome. This is my review of the Condere FM AM shortwave 3-band radio, CH-2201. This radio is available widely in the South African market. You can get it from Takealot, and many of the brick and mortar shops also sell it. The price is 200 Rand, so that is $11. I got this one mainly because it looks exactly the same as the Panasonic RF562D radio. As you can see here, it looks pretty much like the same radio. And I thought maybe it would give me the same kind of performance as that Panasonic radio gives. It is a very popular AM radio, the Panasonic. It scores very, very highly in AM DXing, and the people who own that one are really happy with the AM reception quality on the Panasonic. So I was kind of hoping that this would be the same. I mean, you could see the similarity. It looks exactly the same. But in the end, this is just a cheap rip-off of the Panasonic. I thought maybe it was just a rebranded version of the same radio. Definitely not. The Panasonic's got a 5.5-inch AM ferrite antenna, and that's why it does so well on AM. This one on the inside, as you can see here, it's got a tiny little ferrite antenna. It's 1.7 inches only, about 4.5 centimeters. So obviously it's not in the same league. You can see that this is very much a downscaled version of that Panasonic. But anyway, it is my intention to review what we have available on the market in South Africa for AM and shortwave DXing. So this is one of them. I got it from Takealot, paid 200 Rand, and I've played around with it a bit. I'm not overly impressed. It works well on FM, does okay on AM, but only with very, very strong signals. And on shortwave, it's pretty useless. It picks up a couple of very strong signals, but that's all. Does have a nice strong speaker, so as an FM radio, probably okay. But for the price, I would honestly think that there are better radios available in the market. The Telefunken TR100, for example, which I reviewed previously, I will add a link also at the end of this video, so you can check out that review. That's a much better radio. It does really well on AM and shortwave and FM. This one, it works on FM well, but yeah, that's about it. So if that's all you need, you might consider it, but for the same price you can get the Telefunken and you get a little bit more. So anyway, came in this box: dynamic speaker, excellent sound, DC jack, high sensitivity receiver. That's not true, except on FM. The side, it's just a repetition of the same information, same. There we go, nothing at the bottom. In the box, the radio came in this bubble wrap, and there was a little manual. Well, not really a manual, a pamphlet to say put in the batteries and turn on the radio. And there's a carry strap that you can add. That's all. That's what you got in the box. It works with D-cell batteries, or it can work with power. Yeah, it doesn't come with a power cable. Anyway, I just put some D-cell batteries inside. Battery compartment is here. It takes 2 batteries. Opens and closes easily. Your band adjustment is here. It's FM, shortwave, medium wave. Shortwave is the one in the middle. It's a little bit of an odd configuration. Usually, most radios, it's FM, AM, and then shortwave. This is switched around. The band coverage, FM is 88 to 108 megahertz, shortwave is 3 to 12 megahertz, which is quite weird. That's the 90 meter band up to the 25 meter band. Not much happens in the 90 meter band. They could have maybe added towards the other side, the 19 meter band, because then you could pick up some daytime signals. But yeah, doesn't cover that. And then medium wave 530 to 1600 kilohertz. The speaker power is 3 watts, so it does have a relatively strong speaker. The antenna is doesn't rotate. It's 50 centimeters, 20 inches, quite flimsy. As you can see, I think this thing will break easily. Here, it doesn't even hook in nicely. You can try. So yeah, that's what you got. Here on the display, as you can see, that's also different to what you would see on the Panasonic, on the RF562. As you can see, again, let me just show you. The radio looks exactly the same as the RF562, but on the inside, it's not the same, right? And here, the band display, it's not the same. On the Panasonic, you have FM at the top, and then AM, and then shortwave at the bottom. This one is switched around. So FM is at the bottom, AM, and then shortwave. Right. So yeah, as I said, I've played around with it a bit. I will do a demonstration now of what you can pick up on AM, and I'll just scan through the shortwave band very, very quickly. I don't expect us to pick up anything there because it's daytime. But even at night, I've used this one on shortwave. I don't pick up much. I really don't pick up much. A couple of signals, maybe 3 or 4 strong signals, and that's all. So my honest opinion, this is not worth it for shortwave. On medium wave, it's okay. It does pick up all the strong daytime signals, even one fairly distant signal. So that's fine, even with that tiny ferrite antenna that it's got. At night, it picks up a couple more strong signals, but only really the strong ones. Nothing very distant comes in. Some of the signals from Mozambique and Botswana, our neighboring countries, and some of the longer distance South African signals, they come through, but not even all of them. So yeah, medium wave is really only for very strong signals. On FM, it picks up pretty much everything. So for FM, again, as I've said, I think it works quite well. So I'll start with a demonstration of the medium wave band. On and off is here with the volume switch. This is 657. It's radio pulpit. It comes from Meyerton. It's a local signal, so it's very close to me. Couple of kilometers, couple of miles, let's say about 20 miles, but yeah, local signal, 50 kilowatt. Okay, this one is a more distant signal. That is Lesotho National Broadcasting System. It's from our neighboring country, Lesotho, the capital city, Maseru. It is 350 kilometers or about 200 miles from me. They've got a strong transmitter, so I do pick up that signal in daytime on pretty much any receiver I've got. It's the only long distance signal that I really do pick up in daytime here where I am on anything, even on very strong radios. Our AM band is very quiet in the daytime. There's about 4 or 5 signals only coming through, and then in terms of distance, only that one from Lesotho. So this radio is okay. It picks that one up, and this one is called Radio Veritas. It's 657. It also comes from Meyerton. The same as that other one. It's a religious station. They broadcast on 50 kilowatts. So that's a local signal. Always pick it up on every radio I've got. And then apart from that, this band is pretty much empty. Now here at the top end of the band, we have 2 other signals, which I will jump to. This is Radio Islam. It comes from Lenasia, which is also towards the outskirts of Johannesburg on the southwestern side. It is not very far away. It's a very weak transmitter. They use a 1 kilowatt transmitter, but local station, so it comes through. And then we have Hellenic radio on 1422, which I normally pick up also. That's also local, it's just here in Johannesburg. For some reason I can't pick up Hellenic radio at the moment, so I just double checked here on my little Dixon R808, and it seems like they, I don't know, looks like they are off air, because even this one doesn't pick it up. And this is a little powerhouse. This one I often use as a sort of a reference radio. It picks up even on shortwave. It works really well. So I'm comparing like for like. I'm not using one of my fancy DSP receivers here. If this one doesn't get it, then well, it makes sense why this one doesn't get it. Maybe they're just not broadcasting. But we have Radio Islam here. And the Hellenic radio should be almost next to it. And they're not there. 1422. Yeah, so they're probably just off air. So that's what happens on medium wave. It gets all the strong signals, it's fine, and as I said, at night it gets all the strong signals, but I don't think you can use this as a long distance medium wave DXing machine. The internal ferrite antenna is just too small, and in my own tests at night I really don't pick up much on medium wave at all. So let's do a very quick scan through shortwave. I don't think we will get anything because it's daytime, but just to see. Get out the antenna. Well, there is something there. Cannot really discern what it is, but there's a signal. Seems to be something there as well, but yeah, not clear enough to know what it is. So yes, that's shortwave. There would seem to be like maybe two signals there. I think maybe if you put a little wire, you might be able to hear what it is. I've used it at night, as I've said, on shortwave. It picks up signals, not that many. I don't see this as a DXing machine. I think if you want to listen to some strong signals coming through, like the BBC or Voice of America, you'll pick up those signals. If you just want to get some alternative news views, you'll get that. So in that sense, this radio serves its purpose. It will provide some information, maybe to people who are in remote areas where they don't have access to much other sources of news. Useful. But yeah, it's not for DXing. It just doesn't pick up distant or weak signals at all. I've tested it at night and it simply doesn't. So we will have a quick look at the FM band now. Right, so let's see what this thing can do on FM. On FM it does well. I think if that's all you need, if you really just want an FM radio, this is an option. But again, as I said before, the Telefunken TR100, in my opinion, is better. It's just a bit bigger, that Telefunken. So if you want something that's a little bit compact, it's still quite big. I mean, if you compare it to this tiny pocket radio, this pocket radio is the same as the Condere 100. It's small. Of course, this is not a pocket radio. But yeah, it's not too big. I'll put it on a desk somewhere. Not really portable, I suppose. So let's see. FM.
baagi ba kwa lehorutsi gaufi le zerust mono o lokolotse bokelong mo le lekhatlhang now aneklilicala banindeka isigamekweni sokudubula kushone amalungu ngesikhathi certificate from the National Prosecuting Authority lokhu nyanzeleke kuba inyango emithathu Peter says they're not sure exactly how the seal got there, but they managed. I could live without you. Government position after your lovely patient. I wasn't doing it. U.S. federal drug agents. National conference of the supposed to be deployed and then. Eyewitness news on ondersoek doen daarna sal die karkasse begrawe word. Die buiteland die betuig het bevestig dat Amerika by Katrina. It makes no sense. The son of the president is Cecilia Leshanko cartels who 4 cents in January. Commitment to the war-torn country.
So as you can see, it does well on FM. The stations are spaced quite tightly together. It's able to separate them and clearly pick up all the local FM stations. So for FM, definitely this works. If this is the size of radio you want, if this is the look you like, because it's got a nice classic sort of vintage look to it, and you only want FM, by all means, get this. 200 Rand, $11, that's not too much. It has nice sound, as you heard, so as your go-to FM radio, sure, get it. Just one comment about FM is the band indications here, they are completely off. Because, for example, I'm going to show you now a station, it's on 101.5, but here I pick it up around 104.
Of wat gebeur het tydens sportgeleenthede? Koffiesport. Maandag en Vrydag net op RSG.
So that station is RSG, it's in Afrikaans language. They broadcast on 101.5, between 101.5 to 102 here in Johannesburg. And as you can see on the dial there, it shows 104. So that's off by quite a bit. But anyway, you'll recognize your station by ear as you tune through it. So it'll still work. Right, so my verdict, as I've said, if you like the look, it's got a nice look, classic feel to it. Feels quite solid. Build quality is not excellent. This aerial doesn't pop in there as it should. You can see down there, there's some, like, I don't know, some kind of a scratch or something. But all in all, it's okay. It doesn't have an earphone jack though. There's your DC jack if you want to put in some power. Batteries, yeah. So you won't be able to listen in private with headphones because there's no jack for it. But picks up FM stations well. All of them, separates them nicely. Good, clear, strong signal, nice sound. On medium wave, picks up the strong signals, but sometimes with a bit of a hiss. It's not necessarily very good reception, but picks them up. On shortwave, only the really strong signals. That's all that comes through. So again, to end, I will say for 200 Rand, $11 as an FM radio, it's an option. If you want something that gives you a bit more, you also want to play around in AM and on shortwave, then I would say consider the Telefunken TR100. Also 200 Rand, $11, but it gives you just so much more. Thank you for watching, and tune in again for more of my reviews and some of the interesting stations that I catch with my radios.